social media, technology, how do you think it is quietly changing how couples connect or disconnect emotionally and physically in marriage?
Good marriages are run on an important principle called trust. And I'm building all this to talk about social media. Technology, just like water and fire, they are innocent in their own right. All these things are tools in life that have been created to facilitate life, I would say. Social media, of course, has also promoted a lot of infidelity.
That's true.
And I'll tell you that some people are managing a whole family establishment on phone.
What are some of those deliberate things that we can do to unlearn or recondition our minds to say, I don't have to be on my phone all the time, especially now that I am out with my wife or my husband? Hello and welcome back to Reality Check. It's another week and we have another conversation for you on this channel that cares for hearts and minds. We are a mental health wellness podcast, and we have conversations on mental health in the areas of marriage, family, relationships, and the workplace. So if that's your vibe, you might want to consider subscribing and make this your family or join the family. To those of you who are regulars, welcome back to our channel. My name is Rachel, I'm your host, and today I'm joined by Dr. Eva Satwine, who is a life coach. For those of you that are new, she is a marriage therapist, a parenting coach as well, and she offers support in those areas. So if that's something that you would like support in, please take advantage of the numbers on your screen. We appreciate your comments, your feedback, so keep it coming and let us know what you think about some of the conversations that we are having. We are coming to you from Suma Coffee House and Wellness Center located in Kamocha. Please drop by and enjoy some coffee, healthy smoothies and juices, and some healthy meals as well. It's a wonderful place for you to get some work done, also in the middle of town. You can have your meetings here and just enjoy, the wonderful space that is Suma Coffee House and Wellness Center. I also have some supplements on set with me. So if your physical health, you're trying to be healthier in this year, these are some of the supplements that you can take advantage of. There's a wide range for you to choose from. For the ladies, if you are looking to balance your hormones, Feminagy is a good choice. So do drop by and get yourself one of these. And then for those of you that are dealing with issues with your joints, your bones, this one is called Gluzo Joint Ultra Pro, and it will offer you support with your bone and joint health. Okay. And then this one is called Refined Yunzi Essence. It supports your immune system and helps you with your general wellness. So these are wonderful supplements. I have tried some of these. Dr. Evas as well has tried some of these, and we swear by them. They will support you on your health journey. So take advantage of them, and thank you once again for joining us. Welcome, Dr. Evas.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. For those of you that are new, like I mentioned, Dr. Evas is a therapist, and she typically lends us her wisdom in the conversations that we have. So today we want to talk about the impact of social media and technology on marriages, because that's the era that we are in, and everybody has a gadget. Some of us have 3. You have a phone, you have a tab, and then you have the TV at home. And we are seeing more and more these are replacing connection in marriages, intimacy, friendship, and all of that. And so we thought, let's address it as something that could potentially impact your marriage, maybe negatively, or if you used it the right way, positively. So welcome aboard. Dr. Evas, social media, technology, how do you think it is quietly changing how couples connect or disconnect emotionally and physically in marriage?
Yeah. Okay, so I'll begin with, where should I begin? I'll begin with what we desire in marriage. Yeah, so every person who gets into marriage wants to connect.
Sure.
Connection is a result of seemingly simple, silly, but very important things. But mostly connection is about time. Time together is important. Anyone remembers how we were doing things when we were dating? You can't sleep without seeing the other person. You really, really want to see them. You want to be in their presence. You want to talk. You have to have conversation. So presence is very important. Availability is very key. But also communication. You know, conversation. Communication is usually taken.
Yeah.
But conversation, little conversations. And again, through my work, people ask, what would you be talking about? Good conversations are not structured. It's just you meet with the person you love and you talk.
That's
You
it.
talk politics, you talk water, you talk rain, you talk anything.
Yeah.
So just natural conversations, but also time for updates on how the family is going or the relationship is going. That helps us to connect, because otherwise, short of that, we are disconnected.
That's true.
And no one wants to be in a marriage where you're disconnected. It's painful. It's very painful. You see, this is the most delicate relationship on planet Earth. And it has to be fed by connection. The person you're married to, you have to connect. It's also, good marriages are run on an important principle called trust. And I'm building all this to talk about social media. Now, so trust is also, it manifests in a number of things. In conversation. You know, the more you connect, the more you discuss, the more you trust each other, because then your hearts are just getting aligned. So, social media or technology. Technology, just like water and fire, they are innocent in their own right. You see? All these things are tools in life that have been created to facilitate life, I would say, because I don't think the person who is getting quite innovative with technology, the original idea is to disrupt marriages or to kill relationships. I don't think that's their intention. But you see, it's all in the way we use them. So everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. And of course, again, from a psychology standpoint, things that have so much capacity to control us, we need to work very hard to manage them. They require a lot of management. And what are these things? Those are the things that give us a lot of pleasure. It's very exciting to have a new phone. It's very exciting to have a message coming. It is, I mean, it's nice. And definitely, these things were created to facilitate relationships, right? Trade relationships, whatever you want to use it for. So again, I go back to the point that they were meant, their intention was not to destroy. How we use them is the issue. So, did you ask how? Yeah. So how is it then
changing the way we
how is
connect?
It changing? How is it changing? Now, I'm just thinking about technology, of course, has come and found so many other things. But relationships have so many distractions. There's so many distractions. There's so many things that will take us away that affect connection. I told you that key thing is connection and the security. Now, how has it affected? Let me begin on a positive note. I think on a positive note, if we use technology to our advantage, because it's there to be used, just like water and fire. I mean, they tell us to drink a lot of water. How many people drink it? It's there. It's available. And yet we don't use it. But just technology, again, it's the way we use it. If we use it positively, I don't even want to imagine a time when we didn't have these phones. How did we even manage? Now, I want to tell you that these things are helpful if we use the right way. I think they've facilitated communication for people who use them for that.
Yeah.
Communication, and communication is important. I remember years back, between 1998, imagine how, 1998 and 2000, my husband was away for 2 years.
Oh.
Right? And he made sure that time we were communicating through cards, you know, those phone calls that you use a card to call.
Yes.
And he bought so many cards, which he used to call and check in on me, on the children, so that he keeps connected to us. And I remember when I visited him in Germany, he pulled out those cards and said, do you see, I kept these cards so that you see that if I hadn't used this to communicate, I would have bought you a car.
Yeah.
Right?
Ah,
you see?
yes, yes.
Which was, and of course we talked about it, we said gladly you used it for the right thing. We needed to keep connected rather than get a car one-time big gift.
Purchase.
So look, so phones are important. All these social media platforms, they are important if we use them the right way. If we decide which one we need or we don't use. So if they are good, they help. They can help, honestly, if they are used the right way. So we can't sit here and say, oh, hell to terrible. You know, like they are terrible. No, they are there to be used. You will determine whether they are useful or not. Yeah. And then, of course, they have their other issues. But I just thought about the issue of communication. Let me also point out one more thing. We have been exposed to so much information. We live in an information age. And there is lots and lots of resources, right? On the web, on YouTube, on internet. Like, check. There's lots of resources available to us, right? By the way, someone can do a marriage course by themselves. Yes, because there are resources. There's so much resource on the web. Of course, be careful, please, because there is also confusing information. That's so you have to be super discerning. But I really feel that information has been brought to us. So we cannot say, so it has actually equipped for people. Honestly, there's lots of information. If you allow me to just digress a little bit, our son recently was speaking to us about the challenges of preteens. And you know, he was touching on some psychological concepts. Okay. I looked at him and I said, where did you get that? And he said, oh, I got it here. Can I show you the site? Yes, the site. So we have to be very careful that, rather, we have to be inquisitive about using these resources. They are available. I mean, like Reality Check
on YouTube.
I can't imagine. I get envious of our listeners or audience because they are really, really exposed to so much useful information, and just imagine, you share freely, you're not required to pay. So these are resources that really can help people. So it has really equipped, technology has equipped people. On the flip side, definitely, we have a problem, and this is related to abuse. Abuse. How this technology is abused. Number one, because it requires a lot of management. It is a time stealer or killer, right, in marriages. And I want to tell you, there are people I've been really, I've watched, I'm very observant of couples when we go out. People get into a restaurant like this, the first thing they pull out is a phone. You see daddy's on a phone,
mom is on the phone,
mom is on the phone, kids are on the phone, and no one is talking. And this is possibly a timeout. So it's a very big problem.
Yeah.
It's a very, very big problem.
Yeah.
Second, so time. And also there are people who get home in the first 5 minutes.
The phone.
And children are seeing the spouse has been waiting. Excuse me. The spouse has been waiting and they've received you. You enter, man or wife or husband, doesn't matter. They are actually, I think I've seen some men complain that they get home and the wife doesn't even realize they've come.
She's on her phone.
Time. Yeah, so the time we spend on the phone is a very, very, very big problem. Very, very big problem. Of course, it has also exposed us to so much. We are now in a global village, and we are seeing so many things, and there's a lot of pressure. Yeah, there's a lot of pressure, comparison. Oh, look at that couple. Oh, mama, they look better. Ask what are we up to? Someone is giving flowers and
going on
holiday. People are posting them in Dubai. And if you have been begging your partner
to take you on holiday,
to take you to Cafe Jabas, they can't, and these people are in Dubai. So we are exposed to so much pressure. How we respond to that is an issue. So again, but also maybe before I leave that point, we are seeing marriages displayed as wonderful, and it has increased a lot of jealous, and definitely also affecting people's self-esteem. Yeah. So if someone is looking at a well-built guy and saying, "Oh, look at that guy," they are actually comparing you with. They are probably telling you, "Oh, someone is following. What are they called? All these wonderfully made ladies and celebrities." And celebrities are doing things that are not happening in your marriage. It can increase pressure, and of course sometimes we are not wise enough or discerning enough to understand that what they are showing you is an edited version of their marriage.
A small part.
It's just a small part, and so they just are showing you that edited version. And they prepared for this, and so we tend to. There's a lot of pressure that people get subjected to. Yeah. Maybe Rachel, I could also mention something about para counseling that happens on
social media.
On social media,
yeah.
I've seen people post their challenges, so they throw out a question. Oh, you people, I'm struggling with this and all. In just like 10 minutes, they have 400
advice. Yes.
You see, pieces of advice.
Yeah.
And each person talking to you is speaking from their
point of
view, their experience, and so they will say, just get out. How can you put up with that? And now that is a very big problem. That's why I've been talking to people and saying, please be careful who speaks into your life. Because if you throw out a question and you're seeking advice, the people that are giving you advice, where are they coming from? How much do they know? How much are they putting into understanding your situation? Imagine you've sent out a question, and in the first 1 minute, someone is giving you advice. How much time have they taken to process what you could be going through? And when I see that, I ask myself, man, now this, where is it coming from? How much of this person's problem do you know that you should possibly give a decisive piece of advice? So there are so many other dangers that are there, but I just thought I could mention
those. Yeah. And I think that's a good place to start. It's interesting that you threw in the counseling, the para counseling, like you call it. But also, I think that when couples see other couples' curated lives online, it might make them give up because maybe they're going through a phase in their marriage where things are a bit chaotic, you know. So if I see a couple that is seemingly doing well based on a picture or video that they have posted online, then it's going to make me feel like I don't think we can ever achieve that, you know, and that's dangerous. Yeah. So let's talk about boundaries. And I think as you speak about boundaries, I want you to also comment on what social media addiction would look like. You know, how do you know that now my partner is addicted, or maybe they are overly invested in their phone or overly invested in their social media presence? Because these days now we are building brands, you know, on social media. I'm building my brand as Rachel, and therefore I have to talk to my followers. You know, I have to engage with my followers. I want you to comment on that, but also speak to digital boundaries. You know, what does it look like when a couple doesn't have clear digital boundaries, and how can that erode trust and intimacy in a marriage?
Okay.
If you can slide in things like passwords and so and so has checked my phone. Are there limits to, you know, how much of you I can access as my wife or as my husband?
That's all right. It just reminds me of one of the points I forgot, that social media, of course, has also promoted a lot of infidelity.
That's true.
And I'll tell you that some people are managing a whole family establishment on phone.
That's true.
On phone.
Yeah.
And so how do they sustain this? They sustain it through passwords. As a matter of fact, I think I've also mentioned that that there are some marriages that are surviving just because of a password. The only reason your marriage is still standing is because you have a password.
You don't know what's on the other end. Yeah.
Now, so what is happening is that there's a lot of infidelity, of course, which is triggered by exposure to so much lie, so much deception, so much. And so this is happening. Now, going back to how do you know that someone is addicted? Now, let me just talk about addiction, because it's not just phone addiction. There's so much addiction happening. Either we are addicted to drugs. Now, think about things we are addicted to. We get addicted to drugs, right? Drugs. We get addicted to alcohol. We get addicted to sex. We get addicted to phone. There is something about these things. We get addicted to popcorn.
Popcorn?
Do you know you can eat popcorn the whole day?
You absolutely can.
You can.
Yeah.
Now, what is it about these? There is something about them. What is so unique about these things is that they have high potential for pleasure.
True.
Okay?
Yeah.
Pleasure, because we have a center in the brain called the reward center. It always it's the one that supplies pleasure to us. And so sometimes when we take this, it just boosts our dopamine. And so these items that we've talked about, that's why people, when I think I've explained in one of our sessions that human nature is always in pursuit of pleasure, right? There's nothing wrong with it, but what is wrong is when you forget all the other things and you're just pursuing pleasure. So what happens is that because they offer a high amount of pleasure, they are likely to control us, or we get hooked onto them.
Yeah.
Now, so when we get hooked onto them, we actually are looking for pleasure. Okay, so I just thought I would give you that, so that people understand what they are looking for, because there's lots of fights. So won't I do that? Now, so what happens? Anything that we say that you are addicted to means that it's controlling you. And if it's controlling, it's taking your time, resources. It's taking your mental resources. You actually are thinking about this all the time. But then you don't just stop there, you also actualize it.
Got it.
So you spend a lot of time. So it's a lot of quantity and quality time on this.
Yeah.
Now, for instance, we all know how for instance, take TikTok. What does TikTok do to us? When you open a TikTok thing, then you go up, then you go up, then another one comes. You see people laughing. What are they doing? They are just feeding that pleasure.
Yes.
And so if you're not careful, then this thing can control you and you take a lot of time. So you've asked, how does it manifest? The amount of time we spend on phones and other gadgets, trying to connect with a world that knows nothing about us, you see? And of course, when we do that, we feel, someone understands me there.
Yes, yes.
You're connecting with a community that is not connected to you. It's virtual.
Yeah.
It doesn't care about you. If you commit suicide today, they'll go like, that's okay.
R.I.P. And that's it.
That's all. They'll not cry. So that how we know is, number one, the amount of time. Number two, the amount of emotional investment into this. And the distraction it is causing, but also the pain it is causing to people. Because you see, how do you know when people start complaining?
Yeah.
Or how you see people are just closing you out. Because, for instance, children, when they are coming to talk to you, you're on phone, they're going to go away. And or your partner, they just keep looking at you, and you're laughing on TikTok,
connecting with others,
instead of connecting. So you're taking away, you're rechanneling resources from your marriage to this other community that has nothing to do. Now, again, you've had wasting emotional resources on this, because, for instance, of course, you've had people say, as just flirting. Right? And to be honest with you, some people do just, but that's an entry point to a bigger problem.
That's true.
Before you know, you're going to move beyond flirting. You see? So the flirting, you're saying the right things to wrong people. Now, so do you see how you rechannel your emotional resource? You should be using those words in your relationship and all, but now you're sending them out. And I also tell you, Rachel, that one of the other things that is happening is that social media has turned out into a hideout.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a hideout. So if you have to solve a problem, so you'd rather now connect with people, feel a little,
laugh at silly joke.
Yeah, silly joke. After all, they don't know you so much. So, and then laugh.
Feel good a little bit, and
that's it. Instead of engaging in solving a problem that you'd rather solve and improve your relationship. Now, you've mentioned that before I talk about boundaries, the effect it's having on marriage in terms of secrecy. So now people are secretive and running different relationships on phone. There's some people whose phones, accessing the information you would want to access, it's like going to heaven. It's like accessing heaven. You go through stages, get to the Holy of Holies, and then that's what it is. They have passwords for contacts, passwords for WhatsApp, passwords for I guess messages, password for everything, password. And I've already, let me just look into the camera and tell people, every time you're doing that, just remember that what you're hiding is actually hurting you more than it's protecting you.
That's true.
You see? Because you would rather not engage in that rather than hide it. Now, what is happening? We run a whole session here. Should people check each other's phones and all? Now, I need to see one person. Unfortunately, for some of these things, you don't get testimonies.
Yes.
But I want to hear from one person who has successfully covered up or hidden their relationship, and it will never be known. That's not true. Because you see, let's apply the spiritual element. You need to know that whatever you are engaged in, if it is wrong, it's called sin. The author of sin cannot allow you to hide that thing successfully.
He wants his publicity as well.
He will publish you and expose you.
Yeah.
It always gets known. Somehow it always gets known. Unfortunately, it always gets known. But even before it gets known, speaking as a wellness person, it's actually creating so much anxiety on the person that is hiding.
Yeah.
Because you see, that phone is going to control you. It's going to cause you anxiety. I think there was I don't know whether you saw, WhatsApp is very interesting. So there is a couple, the guy was bathing, was taking a shower, and then a phone rang. So the lady picked it
up.
You saw that? And then the guy jumped out of the bathtub with soap, and he's running, and you know how it ended. Eventually, they are jumping this, jumping that, jumping that, until the phone actually got stolen by a thief on the street as the wife was running.
Oh dear.
Just imagine the chaos it's creating. We have to know that hiding a message is not protecting your marriage. Actually, making sure that you're not running a separate relationship here is what is protecting your marriage. So you're not going to protect your marriage if you survive 1 month, another month. But I want to tell you that ultimately it will come out. So that's what is happening. And because we think we are street smart, that you can actually put all those passwords, and there will be one day when either you've given the phone to the children to do homework. Somehow, you see, the enemy can't allow you to hide sin, because his plan is to steal, kill, destroy. And if you do not catch him here and make sure that you don't get into those relationships, then it's much easier.
Yeah. That's so true. That's so true. The hiding is quite something.
Yeah.
We spoke about comparison earlier. I think you alluded to it. Comparison being the thief of joy. And on social media, we see it all the time, And I mean, there's nothing wrong with couples, showing their life. We've gone out for lunch, we've gone out for coffee, or we've gone on a holiday trip as a family. But how do you think this culture of curated perfection affects how couples see each other and their marriage? And maybe how can they guard against it? How can you look at Dr. Eva Sansalong and say, oh, Rambi, they went to Dubai, good for them, but I am happy and content with where I am at with my husband and our family?
You see, you've answered part of your question, contentment. But also, so contentment, but also understanding your own relationship. You see, your relationship is different from the other relationship. We run life, we tend to run life like a huge emergency. The fact that Sarongo and Nalongo are in Dubai, God bring it. So,
are you sending a message to Salong?
Yeah, he should listen. You see, we don't know where this has come from.
Yeah.
We tend to go with the end
products.
The end products, but we don't know what has happened in the back end.
In the background, yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot. There's priorities involved. There is the state of their. Who knows where this came from? And definitely we can't just we can't get dismissive of it. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Maybe that should inspire you. So when you look at that, you get inspired or you get jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could. I mean, I love to ask people, "Oh, where did you get this from? Oh, this is so nice," and all that. But I don't look at it in a jealousy way. I appreciate beauty. I look at it and I say, "Oh, this is really
nice.
great.
Yeah.
Oh, how did you pull this off?" For instance, people don't know that taking vacation, it's not our culture, you know.
No.
The only time some couples go on vacation is when they are going to the village
Oh dear.
for Christmas.
Yeah.
And so when we get into these relationships and we are exposed to certain things, you have to make a decision or a choice in terms of how you want to utilize it, whether to build you or to kill you. Yeah, so it's okay. You've seen all this good. What does it mean? If you have seen a guy give flowers to their wife, do you want to learn it? Is it what does it minister to you? Is it a good thing, or do you appreciate it, or do you resent it outrightly and just introducing yourself of you, how you come from, I don't know where, how us Bachiga, we don't know this, how me, I come from Bushe, you know, that kind of thing.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't mean to make names here.
Yeah.
But I'm just making the point that whatever we see, we have to make a decision regarding how we want to utilize that information. You see that?
Yeah.
So it is okay. But if it creates pressure, there is also positive pressure. Yeah, to be better. Yeah, there's positive pressure. So you can actually respond to that positive pressure, be better. But when it comes to breaking relationships, where you're picking lessons and you're using them as a standard for marriage, no. Every couple has their story. So if someone has achieved this or achieved that, or you're seeing that, if you can't learn from it, then leave it. It's not for you.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be used as negatively, as a point of competition and jealous and fights and conflicts. No, it should be rather used. Now, I don't want to leave this point. Should you both of you be exposed to something and you realize your partner is not yet ready to take on certain things, it also requires patience. Yeah, because you're in your lane, and in your lane you can't just jump and go into another person's lane.
Yeah.
If your partner is not ready for vacation yet, maybe you need to put in more time to sensitize them, to convince them, to bring them up to speed on some of the most important things. If you realize they are still emotionally laid back, then probably it says something to you. Then be patient. My point is, there shouldn't be an emergency.
Yeah. That is so true. That is very true. And I think what you've said about understanding your relationship and dealing with it at that level and not at the level that you have seen on social media is very, very helpful advice, because many of us are wanting to be like couples that we're seeing online, but like you said, we don't know the back end. We don't know what has led them to maybe they are pretending.
Maybe they are real.
Maybe they are real.
But you see, you don't know the full story.
You don't.
You don't know whether actually by the time they got here, they had to be engaged in so much conversation.
So much.
Fights, in all that,
yes, in counseling.
until they got here. In counseling.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't just pick the end product. We need to convince ourselves that there's probably something I don't know.
That's true.
You see?
Yeah, that's true. I think if I were on the other side of the camera watching this conversation, Dr. Evers, what I would want to know from you is, as a wife or as a husband, what can I do to build better digital use in my relationship? You talked about, watching families in restaurants where somebody walks in, a wife is on the phone, the husband is on the phone. What are some of those deliberate things that we can do to unlearn or recondition our minds to say, I don't have to be on my phone all the time, especially now that I am out with my wife or my husband? What can I do to to have better digital habits to foster more in-person connection as opposed to, connecting with a virtual world that doesn't necessarily care about you.
That's right.
And to deal with social media or technology addiction, because it can be subtle, but it's very real.
Oh, it's real.
Yeah.
It's real. I mean, some people have, and these are some of the best practices. Well, we've seen all these, but I guess we are just supposed to adopt them or adapt them to our situations. Number one, putting boundaries, right? I'm saying that, like, beyond this point, I'm not taking phone. When I'm with my partner and we are talking, I'm going to put the phone off or put it in silence, and then I'll come back to it later. What is very interesting, Rachel, is that phones, once again, create a sense of emergency.
That's true.
They do. Yeah. That's why I was giving it a background, that they have so much capacity to control us, because they're saying, your phone has been, you haven't checked your phone for last 2 minutes.
Hours.
Yes, 2 minutes. Yeah. So just building that behavior, because once we do that, we are gaining our power back, because phones can take our power.
That's true.
So just saying, when I'm talking to my partner, I'm not on phone. I can actually do like this, or I can put it off. No one is going to die just because your phone is off.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a habit
that
you're building. Yeah. And once again, you're gaining back your control, you're gaining your power back. Secondly, I've seen some families who, when they are out, they have a basket. Sorry. They have a basket and they throw all the phones in.
Yeah.
I remember we tried it with our children one time. They had their cousins and their friends, and we went out, and then we threw those phones in.
The basket,
You would see people do like this.
It's almost unnatural.
Yes, it's unnatural.
Yeah.
But this is something we need to do brain training about. Because when we did that, we had so much peaceful conversation. Yeah. Because when phones are on the table,
the instinct is
to get them and look at them. That is very important. But then also, secondly, other good practices, like not having passwords.
Oh, speak on that. Speak on that.
When you don't have password, let me talk about when you have passwords. Yeah. There's a message it sends to your partner. There's a message it sends that you're trying to protect something. Information.
Yes.
And unfortunately, in most cases, yes. But disclaimer, there are some people who have passwords so that children, for instance, do not access their phones and do all manner of things with them. So yeah. But the point I'm saying, what is the main reason you have a password on your phone? Yeah. Or maybe you're protecting it from thieves or something. But
so tell me about it. Tell me your password. Let us protect it together.
Yes, let's protect it together. Now, again, I've seen couples, they know each other's passwords. If you have them and you have it for the good reason, I mean, it can be. But I've seen some with fingerprints,
facial recognition,
and all that. The question is, what are you protecting?
Yeah.
And honestly, I want to say that this again, Rachel. If you're managing relationships, let me say it this way: if your marriage is surviving just because you have passwords on your phone, it's time you removed them and removed the things you're protecting, because sooner or later it will be known.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that leaving your phone, I always tell people that my phone is saved. This phone is saved.
There's no reason to hide anything.
There's no reason to hide anything. Yes. It's clear. It's open. I don't worry whether someone calls me. Have I got some errant phone calls or whatever? Maybe they'll come, but I guarantee you I don't remember them. But my phone is saved because my phone is also married. Yeah, my phone is married.
Yes.
This is a phone for a married person.
Yeah.
And so when it is a phone for a married person, there are conversations that are not welcome. Now, when they get in there and you have to protect them with a password, that's a recipe for disaster. Yeah, so leaving your phones, okay, you're going to build trust. Yeah, because someone is already saying, oh, we are on the same page because there's nothing to hide. Right? And what else? I've talked about boundaries. Beyond a certain time, there shouldn't be certain calls. Again, this is what we are dealing with on a daily. Now, are you going to stop me from? I don't.
I'm helping this person.
I'm helping this person.
She has a question about her work
at midnight.
At midnight. It's an emergency, like you were saying.
Really? Yeah. At midnight. And so, for instance, when you have that discipline of beyond this time, I don't take calls. And the people in your world know that beyond this time, you don't take calls. You see, you don't call me when I'm sleeping. And can I tell you what? About 2 years ago, I learned that there is a marriage breakers club. Oh yeah, this is how far the world has gone. And the ladies in this club, what they do is that they wreck marriages indeed. So what do? When the man, the club is for women. So when the man is home around midnight, 1:11 there, then if he hasn't given them attention, or they think, because their duty is to destroy the marriage, they are going to call. They are going to call, and then people are going to start fighting, and that's what it is. Now, when such calls come up, then the person is trying to protect the other person. So am I the one who told them to call me? And come on, like really? Really? So it speaks to how indisciplined we are in our relationships. And casual. And we think someone is going to take all our mischief and all that. But this is the way to protect ourselves and protect the marriage. So that's really, really like a good practice. Speaking of laying boundaries for phone, for technology and WhatsApp. But also at personal level, let me also ask people, it's also a good practice to train your mind to know that the things you're seeing, it's a good practice. Just to know that the things you're seeing, you're using them to improve your relationship, but not to kill it. It's also a good practice. And if you saw something somewhere, the way you bring it into your marriage is also matters. So how are you, if you want your partner to pick this up, then market it in a good way. Don't put your partner on pressure. Put them down and ask them, what kind of wife are you? Look at your weight. All those things. Don't you see those small-bodied celebrities? And so you have to also tell yourself that you don't know the full story. So that's it.
Okay, that's really good. Finally, if one spouse is more addicted to their phone than is acceptable, and the other spouse has noticed that my wife, spends a lot of time on her phone and it's affecting our time together, it's affecting family time and that sort of thing, how can that spouse approach the one who is addicted in a way that doesn't trigger defensiveness? What would be the best approach to that conversation to then keep them moving forward and finding different ways to engage with technology and social media?
No, that's important. Of course, it's a very sensitive conversation that people have to have. But one of the statements I've made, which I'm going to repeat here, is that good relationships are built out of uncomfortable conversations. So this is one of the uncomfortable conversations. one can tell that by the time you bring that up, you have rehearsed so much about whether to bring it up or not to bring up or not to bring up. But it's always important that if you've noticed that it's an issue in your marriage, please find a way of bringing it up. And this is how you do it. Number one, you're going to make sure that you're not emotionally charged. Because if you approach this person with all manner of accusations and with all manner of suspicions, because some people say, I've noticed the way you must be having an affair. Now, I want to tell you that there are so many people that are just hooked onto a phone and they have no affair they are managing. It's just that the phone just becomes another, like a co-wife or co-husband. But it's just bad manners that we all do. Now, one of the things I encourage people to do is not to front your suspicions as if they are real, because then that is going to put someone on guard.
Yeah.
And so it's important that, number one, you're calm, you are able to assess how you feel, right? Try to process, process how you feel about what is happening. Well, how does it affect you? How does it affect the relationship? For instance, you say, I've noticed that in the first 5 minutes of your coming, you're on phone. Or I've noticed I come in and I really want to connect with you, but you're on your phone. Yeah. You're on phone. And so I realize that it's affecting us. We are getting disconnected slowly, and I feel it. If not, if you don't feel it, I feel it. You see?
What would be a wrong way to address that? I want you to role play.
Yeah, so role play is when you come and you're saying, what are you doing on your phone? You're always on your phone. So you're using a lot of you. Yeah, but remember, it's affecting the relationship. So you need to use we.
Yes. Yeah?
How it affects it's affecting us. It's affecting our relationship. Personally, I feel we are disconnected, or we are disconnecting slowly, and it's taking away time for us to have meaningful conversations. For instance, I wanted us to talk about this and that, but we haven't had an opportunity to talk because time goes. You come in and this is what happens. So I just would be glad that we probably put some boundaries and see, is it possible to have some
the
discipline?
First 30 minutes maybe.
Maybe. So approach it with practical solutions. Okay. Yeah, but as much as possible, having processed it, not just throwing out an emotion. You need to have processed it and you're able to talk to someone. Please note that sometimes by the time you bring up that issue, they notice it. They know. Yeah. They know, because some people, when they are addicted, you can say they don't know, but they know. They really know. So you only need to bring up an issue in a very respectful manner, less accusatory, and so that it doesn't trigger so much confusion and emotional reaction.
Yeah. And with the view of us in mind,
with the view of us in mind.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. I feel like personally I have learned a lot, and I think for any couple in this day and age, social media is something you're going to contend with in whatever form, whether it's in building trust, or for some people it being an escape, or things like, who are you talking to online? You're not spending enough time with us. It's going to affect your marriage and intimacy in different ways. And I think it's an opportunity for every couple watching to grow, teach yourself first. And I believe this, of course, will be a separate conversation, social media and children, or rather technology and our children, that the way you consume your social media or how you use technology is probably going to be transferred to how your children use it, because they are watching you.
They are watching, but also you're sending out a message that it's okay for me to do this.
Exactly.
And it's a culture in our family.
Yes.
Now, most of the time when parents are doing that, children also go do, because it's monkey see, monkey do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, it also, by the way, Rachel, it robs parents of the moral authority to discipline children.
Over phone
Over
use.
phone use. One of the questions parents are having now is, or they are crying over, is technology. And they are saying, how can we parent in this,
era?
The thing is, children have seen you in discipline.
Thank you.
And once they do that, you cannot even discipline
You
them.
have no right.
You have no right whatsoever. You're also going to feel it. You can't talk about getting hooked onto a phone. You've been there. So you're going to keep quiet.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
Or they are going to challenge you. They're just going to look at you and go like, come on.
It will enter this ear and out the other ear.
Rachel, one more thing.
Yes.
I know we are closing.
As you close, yeah.
As we close. I remember a young boy. Children actually notice that our behavior is unusual. A young boy, one time I spoke to, he said he came in and he was struggling with sexual desires because of teenage hormonal surge.
Yes, yeah.
And so he comes in and the mother had said, oh, please talk to him. I'm even worried he's likely to connect with the sisters and all and all. And I remember asking him, I said, who speaks to you on matters of sexuality? And he said, well, at school. So we got into what do they talk about? How does that look like? No. After that, I said, how about home? And the boy said, home? Yeah, mommy is ever screaming. He thinks I'm crazy and all and all. But then I said, how about daddy? Rachel. The boy went like, daddy? Daddy is just some other teenager in an old man's skin. And he went ahead to tell me, he said that guy is ever on phone chatting with women. And he said, I just got his phone recently and I lost faith in that man. And I asked him, how did you get into his phone? He said, I got suspicious.
Where?
Yeah, I got suspicious. I saw that he was totally disconnected from mom.
Oh my God.
And actually, I could tell from his face that he didn't look forward to coming home. So even when he's home, he's just on his phone.
This other world.
And he said, Daddy is lousy. So children are seeing, and they know. They read beyond just saying us on phone.
Yes,
so we need to know that it takes away more than we thought.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And what a way to close this conversation, because you might be thinking, this is my phone, I can do what I want with it. But if you want to raise a generation that is not addicted to their phones and can be able to think on their own, without the influence of social media and technology, then you're going to have to do something about it yourself before you can pass these lessons on to the next generation. So yeah, that's it from us. Thank you for joining us for this conversation on Reality Check. Please let us know, of course, in our comment section. We love hearing your feedback, what you thought about today's topic. And we'll be back again next week with another conversation for you. Please subscribe to this channel and like the episode, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone, and leave us a comment. Until next week, stay well, stay healthy, keep it Reality Check.